to. Hey, welcome back to Check the Vending Machines. This is a weekly pop culture podcast on the internet where two best friends get together and talk about pop culture stuff. I'm Jason, that's Zach. What's going on, man?
Jason, it's a big time for us right now.
Okay, lay it on me.
New trailer for Batman dropped.
Is it?
It looks... I don't know what it is about it, but it gave me significantly more hope for the movie than the first trailer did. And the first trailer did a lot. Like, I still like the first trailer a lot, but this trailer was a lot better.
I agree. I like this trailer from DC Fandom.
Fandom. Oh, is that what the event's called?
Yeah, it's like DC Fandom or some shit like that. Because they released they released some Flash stuff too.
I saw something about that, but I didn't see it from like an official account. So I thought it was gonna be another. I've been played too many times with like trailers and shit, and they end up being like fan recuts of like other shit.
Yeah.
So I didn't even click on it. So I might have to check that out later then.
I just kind of skimmed through the Flash stuff, but for the Batman, I I said it to you last night when we were playing our D&D game.
Mm-hmm.
It to me it just feels like it's like they're making the Tim Burton Batman, but like really injecting hot topic and like because it looks like he looks like emo Batman.
Well, it looks like it's. It looks like a Batman that would have been made in like the '90s when like edge characters were like the shit, and you had the coolest series if you had like the edgiest fucking character possible.
Like the trailer has Nirvana in it. I was just waiting for them to have Nine Inch Nails in it and waiting them to have like literally like insert techno
Yeah.
ministry or some like kind of like techno emo band,
Yeah.
goth band. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Batman looks for the Riddler in some sort of like Batman Forever esque nightclub. You
Dude,
know,
I'm surprised we didn't really see a whole lot of that because, I mean, giving Tim Burton, well, I guess Tim Burton's movies, Batman movies, well, the first one was kind of colorful, but I mean, the second one is pretty, like, muted, honestly, from what I can remember. Like, it's very monochrome, very heavy on, like, the black and white. Like, there's not a lot of color. I mean, with the first one, it was because the Joker and all that shit is always colorful and in pops, but I mean, this one is like
I mean,
super.
comparatively to like once like once like fucking Joel gets them,
Yeah, well,
it's like
once Schumacher gets them, they're like
yeah,
they barely even resemble movies anymore.
yeah, they're injecting neon into your veins.
Yeah,
That's how much they're doing.
yeah.
I like the trailer though. I like they're calling it the main trailer on YouTube.
Yeah, I
On the
saw
YouTube
that they
channel.
called it that.
Yeah, I mean I liked it. I'm unsure of how I feel about Robert Pattinson's look. He looks very much like e-boy, like
I
emo
think,
gothic.
I think his look out of the bat suit is weird because he's definitely got like the emo thing going on
Yeah.
for some reason. But I like him in the suit in this trailer a lot better. Like I think in this trailer they made the bat suit look a lot better.
I think this trailer for me, I like the suit. I think the suit looks fine.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting looking suit. It looks real like
It's interesting how bulletproof it is. That was the most surprising thing
yeah
to me.
that, but it's interesting to me is kind of like they make it look like a night outfit a lot more than
Yeah.
traditional bat suits with the collar kind of thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ears and stuff, the how pointy they are and how short or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But what really draws my attention in this trailer more than any other Batman I think ever And I don't know why. Maybe it's because this trailer really has a lot of focus shots on the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But I've I really don't know how I feel about his eyes in the cow because they keep showing his eyes in every trailer. Like
Yeah,
they
they
show
do
his
a lot of
eyes
close-ups on
outside
his eyes. Yeah.
outside the mask with the paint. They do it when he's in there. They close ups of his eyes,
Which
and then this new
also,
one.
thinking about it, anybody who's like seen him is like, oh, Batman's wearing like black eye makeup.
Yeah,
Bruce Wayne is like running around with black eye makeup. I think Bruce
yeah,
Wayne's Batman.
yeah. I mean, and it just makes me think back to like reading the comic books. It's just white.
Yeah.
It's just the white cow,
Yeah.
and I always forget that when I watch the live action stuff, and it kind of makes me feel like maybe we should try that again. I don't know how we're gonna do it. They do it with Spider Man, so maybe they could do it with fucking Batman.
Yeah, although I guess it is supposed to be like lenses, I guess. I don't know, because I feel like there's somewhere like there's just the white, and that's supposed to be like I don't know if it's like supposed to feign lenses or it's just that they're too lazy to try to draw in eye sockets, but
Well, I think it's in a lot of runs because it's a computer,
yeah, that's true.
which
Well, yeah, we
I
got
don't
that look a
understand
little bit
how.
in the Nolan ones when he got the computer eye shit, and then they like
Yeah,
blasted over. But
yeah, those just look goofy.
yeah,
Those look like here's a bug man.
well, yeah, those gave him like fisheye lens goggles.
Yeah,
So
but other than that, I thought it was a perfectly fine trailer. We
yeah,
got a release date finally.
yeah, March 2022.
Yeah, so
Uh, Colin Farrell looks great. I can't remember who's playing.
I can't even tell it's
Dude, he
him,
doesn't even look like him, and that's what I
and
love
that's
about
great,
it.
and
That
that's great.
yeah, the fact that he doesn't even look like him, I'm like perfect.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I always keep I alert every time I see him. I go, how is that?
I had to
How is
look it
that
up today. I was like, wait, is he the one? And I was like, yeah, he is. That's him, but it just
like?
doesn't look like him at
Is
all.
there going to be a bait and switch in the movie where they kill that guy off and then he enters or something? Like I don't know. I'm looking forward to it, man. I mean, there's a lot of movies that I need to see
hmm
between November and this.
Yeah.
There's like we already kind of did it before, but
hmm
between Ghostbusters and then Kingsman and then Matrix, and I saw earlier um, on one of the how on one of the asset websites that I use
Hmm.
to locate media.
hmm
Someone uploaded Dune.
Oh shit.
So
Well, that was quick.
I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna check it out, but let's say that maybe I already have it.
Okay.
Maybe I don't. I don't know.
I know that I don't know how the fuck, but there was one person at my work who does editing, and she was saying that I don't know it's exactly how, but she said that she already watched it. She said something where she was like she acted like she like did like movie reviews for like the newspaper or some shit, and I was like I don't know about that, but she said that she already saw it. Um, and she gave it like okay reviews. She said the thing that she didn't like about it was Timothy Chalamet. So that'll be interesting.
Well, he's the main character,
Yeah,
so that's a
so
big deal.
it's a pretty big thing to say that you don't like. So
Yeah, I'm if let's say if I did have it, a
mm.
copy of it,
If you
I
did
would. I,
happen to acquire it somehow.
if I did happen to have a copy of it, I would probably watch it tonight
Mm.
if I had it. If I don't,
But
though,
you
I
don't
just don't
have
have
it,
it.
so
Yeah, I don't know,
but you yeah,
but
so
um,
but if you did, you'd watch it after
but I'm not.
five.
I'm honestly like not dying to see it as much as I was before.
What do you think turned you off? Or
I
died
think
it down?
delays, and then also Willy Wonka.
Yeah, the Willy Wonka thing is like
Like, had known that this guy is about to be. I've only seen him in like
I don't think I've really seen him in
maybe
anything.
maybe not maybe zero movies I've seen him
I
in
know
maybe.
him from other movies, but I don't think I've actually watched a movie because I didn't watch the Scotsman movie or whatever that he was in. That was like it was like the Braveheart movie basically or whatever.
Okay.
It was like the First King or something like that on Netflix. I didn't watch
Oh
that.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I didn't watch Call Me by Your Name.
Never watched that.
Let me see. I do want to watch because that also comes out this month, and I do want to watch it. Because he's in the new Wes Anderson movie as well
Yeah.
that I
Mm-hmm.
really want to watch, The French Dispatch.
French Dispatch. Yeah.
The King. Yeah, I didn't watch The King.
And that's where my
Hmm.
strife comes into play, which is like he's in everything.
He's been in quite a few things. Yeah,
Like things that I want to
quite a
see.
few recent things. Yeah.
You know, like I want to see French Dispatch. He's the main character. I want to see
Well, I don't know if
Dune.
he's the main character because
Well,
from what
he's
I've
gonna
heard
be a
about
main
it is that it's
character.
basically like an anthology movie,
Sure.
like some short stories. So he might be a big part of like one story, but I don't think he's like the main character per se.
Okay. Well, then now he's in Dune,
He's
and now he's Willy Wonka.
and he's in Dune Part Two, so don't forget about that.
Yeah, and he's Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
So, I'm stuck with this motherfucker. I don't. Who voted to make this guy do everything?
I don't know, man. He won that Oscar, I think, for Call Me by Your Name, and everybody was like,
He
"Put him in
won. He won an
everything, man."
Oscar for that.
I think he won an Oscar for that.
Okay. Well,
Let me remember. I know he was nominated at least. Timothy Chalamet Oscar? Question mark. Uh, no, he didn't.
okay.
He won a bunch of other ones, but not Oscar.
He won an Independent Spirit Film Award or whatever the
That's
fuck.
actually exactly what he won.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I figured. Yeah, I don't. The Willy Wonka stuff makes me mad because I just don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't care about that story.
Look, I can't even get mad about Willy Wonka because it's like, of course they're gonna try to remake it again, but I'm not gonna give my money to it. So, and I don't know. I find it hard to like hold it against him for like being and stuff because like I don't know. I mean, it's his job, so I can't like.
I don't know. I'll hold it against them. Shit.
Sometimes sometimes homie gotta make a paycheck. I guess.
Denzel does. Fucking Daniel Day Lewis did it.
Did what?
He was very selective over his
Oh
jobs.
yeah.
You know, that's why you
Although
didn't see him every year.
Timothy is in that position though, where he can start being like super selective.
The moment that you get fucking Dune and French Dispatch and fucking Willy Wonka, you can go, maybe I should turn down something.
Maybe I should turn down Willy Wonka.
Not you don't have to turn down French Dispatch because that's what's okay. But now what's gonna happen next? Zach is the next movie from Wes Anderson. Who's gonna be in that movie now? Timothy Chalamet.
Uh, I don't know, because I feel like, I mean, Wes Anderson has his people that are his main collaborators, and they're usually side characters in movies. Like usually characters that like take the spotlight, or character or people that he uses once, and then he'll never use them in another movie. Like
Except
George
for
Clooney, Ray
except for
Fiennes.
Bill Murray.
Oh, but
Like
Bill Murray, the only time that Bill Murray was really the lead character was in The Life Aquatic.
and Bottle Rocket. Not Bottle Rocket, but in what's it called?
Rushmore?
The Rushmore, yeah. He's one of the main characters.
I thought what's his face was the main. I mean, the what's his face?
Yeah, Jason Schwartzman was the main
Yeah.
character, but one of the main characters was Bill Murray.
Mm.
You know, so like, but even then, if you have fucking 8 people who are in all your movies, that have, at some point they really become all main characters.
Well, I guess so. Yeah, I mean,
You
he
know,
uses Adrian Brody a lot, and yeah,
Owen Wilson and Luke
Owen
Wilson and
Wilson,
Jason
yeah,
Schwartzman and he obviously used Ben Stiller the one time or whatever.
yeah,
But like, I mean, I'm fine with all that stuff. I don't care that they're there. I kind of think it's cool, right?
yeah.
But I don't want this dude to become part of that crew. And now the next 7 Wes Anderson movies
I'll have Timothy Chalamet in them.
that I may or may not see, and it has nothing to do with this dude's acting because I don't know if he's good or bad.
Yeah.
The point is that he looks like Finn Wolfhard, and I'm tired of saying Finn Wolfhard. And I
So
see
this is what this
motherfucker
all is.
everywhere.
This is just displaced anger at Finn Wolfhard.
No, not even that. Is that I don't like seeing somebody all the fucking time in every big movie that I care about.
Mm.
And that makes me frustrated. If it was like every movie I saw was Leonardo DiCaprio, I'd be like, yo, fucking too much.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
You know? Like, Dune alone, and then now you tell me Wonka? Hey, I knew. I was telling my fiance about Willy Wonka, and I was like, they're making a prequel to Willy Wonka. I was like, guess who's playing Willy Wonka? And then she like guessed like two people. I was like, no, you're thinking too hard. Who do you think looks like they would cast as Willy Wonka? And she goes, that Tim guy.
That Tim
I was
guy.
like, exactly,
That Tim
fucking
kid.
exactly. You know, the moment that Hollywood saw his face, they're like, we got this.
Yeah, I think he's definitely got like one of those like castable faces.
It's that fucking Johnny Depp face.
Yeah.
You know,
Which
so
is
I don't
weird
know.
though, because then, but unlike Johnny Depp, like he can't really, like Timothy Chalamet just always looks the same in whatever movie he's in. He just looks like him. Like at least Johnny Depp
Yeah,
is able to like, you know, transform himself a little bit, so he doesn't always look like Johnny Depp all the time.
yeah, yeah. He has degrees of his quirky character.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think I mentioned this last week. We watched Edward Scissorhands
I think.
last week or a week and a half ago, and like, I can't even tell that's Johnny Depp.
Yeah, it doesn't
I
even
can't
look
even
like him
tell
at
that's
all.
him.
Well, it's like
Because I see
that. It's
Johnny Depp
like
now.
honestly, like Jack Sparrow, like barely looks like him. Like,
Well, you see Johnny Depp in his real life, and you're like, this dude looks like a fucking a wannabe Aerosmith member.
yeah,
You know, and you look at his
with
movies, like
his
this
like
dude looks
20
completely different.
bracelets and his 15 scarves and like his
Yeah,
20
the
rings on each finger.
bandana.
Yeah.
He has a fucking commercial for a cologne,
Yeah. That commercial's so
and
stupid. He like digs
he's like,
out some shit and I don't
well, he's
remember.
like playing guitar, and he's like doing like a quote unquote guitar solo,
Yeah.
and it sounds like trash.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to buy your Dior or whatever the fuck this cologne is. You can't even play guitar. I remember he
You
played
can't
guitar
play the
with the
car 0 out of 10. Mm.
he played a song with the Black Keys on like an MTV Movie Award like 10 years ago,
Oh, I don't remember this.
and I was like watching it, being like, dude, they must hate this. This band, Black Keys, must fucking hate this that they're having to deal with this fucking guy
Yeah.
who like thinks he can who wants to be a rock star, but he's a fucking quirky actor.
Mm.
Speaking of actors,
Mm.
we're gonna review a movie.
We are. Quite a few. Yeah. Speaking of actors, some big-ish names in this movie.
Well, and so we ended the first part of October. We're wrapping up Bond month
Yes.
for the finale of Bond, and now we are here to properly celebrate October. And the next 3 episodes is the goal to
Spooky,
focus
spooky.
on the Halloween stuff.
Yes.
Halloween movies in that realm of Halloween-esque things.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first episode,
Yes.
and we are reviewing a vampire movie.
We are. We're back to vampires again, baby. Can't get rid of them.
We can't get enough of them.
Honestly, like, I mean, as far as like, horror movies and like movie monsters, like, I mean, I'm sure the quality's out of whack as far as like how many fucking vampire movies are out there, but like they've some of the best movies are vampire movies as far as like horror movie monster movies go. So
Yeah, I think because it's based intrinsically the monster itself is like,
yeah,
oh, mummy guy.
yeah.
It's like,
But
oh,
yeah, the other ones are
okay,
kind of like, oh, it's a zombie,
werewolf guy.
patched up
Alright.
zombie,
Yeah,
werewolf,
I know.
mummy,
Vampires are still
some
intelligent. They
weird
still
thing
have
that
like
lives
creepy
in a lake.
abilities. Exactly. So we're watching Catherine Bigelow's, I think her first movie,
Second movie. I looked it up.
second movie
Second
from
movie.
1987. Wikipedia calls it a horror thriller neo-western.
I mean, I would agree with the horror neo-western. I don't know if it's really a thriller. I think it's just like more of a horror movie.
I don't even consider it a horror movie. It's zero scary.
Nah, yeah. I mean, yeah, no, I mean, I wasn't terrified during any of it. Um, I will say that the bar scene is like one of the best Quentin Tarantino scenes that wasn't done by
Yeah,
Quentin Tarantino.
yeah. So Near Dark, 1987.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this movie. I've seen this movie twice now. This is the second time I've
This
seen
is the
it.
first time I've ever seen it, so.
The first time I saw it was probably 15 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I watched it right after watching Lost Boys for the first time.
Mm.
And I thought to myself, well, this is a fine movie, but it ain't.
It's not the
It
Lost
ain't.
Boys.
It's not Lost Boys.
Yeah.
And then that made me. And I like Lost Boys, but then my reaction was to that was it ain't Fright Night. So like already Near Dark is like, okay, it's a fine movie. And then when I read American Vampire,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is the same shit. Like Scott Snyder just watched this movie and just fucking did it.
Yeah.
Obviously it's very different story wise, but in terms of like the theme of like, of course, American vampires would be like hobo, western,
Yeah.
gunslinger, kind of transient people.
It makes the most sense, yeah, as far as like expanding the idea out to like what vampires would actually be like in like
Yeah,
modern day America, basically. Then yeah, they would be like, yeah, they would be basically like homeless hobos that like travel from
travel
place to
around.
place
Yeah,
because otherwise that's the only way you cannot get caught. So
exactly. So I want to say this first that I enjoyed it a lot the first time I saw it for what it was. I knew that it was very much a genre film.
mhm.
I went into it expecting a genre film, maybe a B movie, and it kind of teeters in that territory of that like
Yeah,
mid budget
I would say
B
it's
kind of
definitely
B
yeah
style.
around like B movie territory.
It's definitely not all full out. It's just more. It's that like, okay, this is a cult classic movie, and that usually alone means that it's probably on that fine
Yeah,
line between. Okay, well, let's say a AAA game.
yeah.
So
So
this is a real indie
this is
game.
the thing that I don't really get. So we always classify like I mean you got like, B movies and whatnot, and then you've got like stuff that's under B movies. But what is the definition of like a AAA game but like in movie form? Like it's not a AAA movie.
I mean, just a blockbuster, right?
I guess, but like blockbusters their own thing where it's like I don't know, because I feel like there are movies that are like this is like a high class movie, but it's not a blockbuster movie.
Maybe it would be major motion picture.
Maybe. Maybe that's
You
just why people
know,
don't say it because like it doesn't roll off the tongue like B movies do, man. B movies is just like such a good. Whoever came up with like the phrase B movie is like it's so good, so straightforward.
maybe it is a movie. I've just never heard it.
Yeah, I don't know. People just don't say a movie, so I mean it could be it, but
So I enjoyed it when I first saw it like 15 years ago,
mm,
and then on the rewatch, because I rewatched it today,
yeah,
I kind of had the same response to it, which is that I like a lot of the movie
mm,
in concept. And I can tell by budgetary constraints and terms of and also lead actor ability
yeah.
that the movie does suffer a lot.
I
But
think definitely the lead actor is probably like the weakest part of the movie.
yeah, I would agree. Him and the lead actress are
Yeah,
like kind of like
him and the chick are like, yeah, not the best, but all the other vampires are so fucking good though. Well, really, just
I
like
think
Bill Paxton
just Bill Pat just
and Lance Henriksen are
yeah,
like
it's just those two
fucking phenomenal.
because the other two that aren't really given enough chance to really kind of
Yeah, I mean the
shine.
kid is like weird because then you've got like this kid who is like basically trying to pretend that he's like a fucking old ass man, which is also weird because then you get to the plot point later on, and I'm like, is he like a pedophile? Basically, is he
Yeah.
essentially a pedophile?
Well, so how did you feel after seeing it for the first
I
time?
liked it a lot. I definitely think it has faults for sure, like specifically with like the lead actor. But once Lance Henriksen and Bill Paxton are there and like they're on screen, like I was on board. It takes a little while for them to actually get there, but like once they show up and like you're with the crew and like doing like the hobo trudging stuff, like I'm all for it. And like they had their first little montage where you basically see everybody like go out and you see like how each of them hunt
Hmm.
and get their kills and they all have their like distinct ways of doing it. Like the kid like uses the fact that he's a kid and like pretends to be injured
Hmm.
on his bike and shit. Because that was the other thing too. Like they show up and they've got like this bike on the back of the RV. And I was like, why the fuck they have a bike? Like who the fuck is riding around on a bike? And then they transfer it to the car. And I was like, you're keeping this fucking bike? Like what the hell's going on? And then they got it, and I
Yeah.
was like, okay, well, it makes sense why you would trudge it around. It seems like a complicated thing to set up. That like you have to trudge around this bike just so you can like make somebody try to pretend to.
But you're also I, I know I do this a lot, but I have it's one of the things I have to do.
Okay.
It's one of the things that you know by now, Zach, that it's like one of my biggest pet peeves with movies is when you don't meet me halfway with the rules you set in your own universe, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest component of that is,
These vampires are
well,
invincible.
the vampire rules for them don't make any sense because they don't state them. Like really, the only weakness that they talk about
It's
is
daylight.
daylight, and it's not like most vampires daylight where it's like they're in the daylight and they fucking explode. Like they can be in the daylight for like a long time and they basically just like get
Slowly
severe
burn.
third-degree burns until eventually they
Yeah.
explode if they're out there too long. But it's not like a specific time limit for it. Like it seems like some people can stay out in the sunlight longer than others. It seems like really just like, for script convenience, whether how long it takes for the sunlight to
Yeah.
finally explode whoever it's
Well,
exploding.
it's like that, but also they establish at the bar, and just in general, that they do have a level of superior strength than normal human,
Yeah.
and they're invincible because we see the main character get shot in the gut.
He
We
gets
see
shot in the
Bill
gut, Lance
Paxton.
Henriksen gets shot and like spits out a bullet. So it's yeah,
Yeah,
really,
so it's like, why would the little kid vampire even need to pretend?
yeah.
Just go kill
Yeah,
people,
just kill him.
you
Just do
know?
what Lance Henriksen does, just kill him.
Just go feed. Just go feed.
Yeah.
Why do you have to pretend? Like even if you're in a shape of a form of a young person, even if you are as strong as a full sized vampire person,
Yeah.
you're still invincible.
Yeah.
Just go fucking eat the bullets and go kill them. So even with that being said, I in that scene that you're talking about takes place at like fucking minute 50. It's like so far in the movie.
When they split up or the bar scene?
When they go start doing their own little versions of how they kill and
I
hunt.
think it's like 30 or 40, but yeah, it's pretty
It's
late.
it is. Hold on, I'll pull it up right now because I have a file on my computer.
Uh,
It's so damn long into the movie, and I remember being like, dude,
well, it takes a long time for the gang to even like. I think it's like 30 minutes or something into the movie until the actual like gang of vampires finally like they kidnap the main guy and they finally like show up. I think it takes like 30 minutes for like
yeah,
that to
yeah,
even happen.
it's yeah, you're right. It's
Because
like
you've got that
30.
long ass opening scene where
Yeah, you hold on. You're right. It's about 35 minutes in,
okay,
and I think 50 is the bar
I
scene.
feel like 50 would be the bar scene because it's only an
So,
hour and a half long movie.
but the
So
fucking movie itself, it's paced so weird until the end
yeah.
because it's like the beginning is like
Well, that
a,
intro
a
bit with him
rocket.
and the chick is it takes so long and it's so
See, no,
pointlessly.
I actually disagree with you. Right? I think the opening bit throws you in so fast
Mm.
to where they're just like yapping like Romeo and Juliet, and and then the scene itself is elongated for no reason except to
Right, that's
build
what
a
I'm talking about. Like
relationship.
it feels
But
long for no reason.
they throw you in immediately. So it's like the movie opens, he gets there, sees the girl, talks to the girl, gets in the car, goes to the horse. Like
Yeah,
what are we doing? And then it just like it just constantly like, how do we drag this out to where it makes sense that they love each other for a week
yeah.
or however long it is before they can make sense for the movie plot.
Hmm.
Um, but even in that opening scene, or at the end of the opening scene when he's walking home,
Yeah,
and they don't even tell you that's his dad. We just assume it's his dad.
yeah.
I really liked the scene of him walking through the
Oh,
like
the
barren,
dead barren field. Yeah,
and he's just smoking.
yeah.
I was, but also addendum to that
Hmm.
because that scene looks cool. The first 40 minutes of this movie is this guy pretending to walk like he's not like he's ill.
It's
It is so
so
long. It's so
strange.
much.
Well, it's like it's that, and then so it's him in the field, and then he gets kidnapped, and then he wakes up, and he basically like tries to be like, "Nah, bitch, like I'm gonna
Yeah,
do my own thing," and then he proceeds to like look like a drug addict to the point where like
yeah.
a cop stops him, and I'm like, "Homie,
Which that cop's like a really popular like character actor.
is
He's in
he?"
so many different things.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought I
but he like
recognized him. Yeah.
he's fucking like um. Well, okay, hold on. You recognize him? I recognize him from a couple of things. First, thing I recognize him from is from Bosch, a cop show on Amazon Prime. He's much older at that point,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the big thing I remember him from movie wise is that he plays um, the coworker to Courtney Cox in Ace Ventura.
He does do that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But no, this guy I can't remember the main character's name, main actor's name, but he's in Heroes,
The
and
main
that's how I
actor
know
is?
him. Yeah, he plays the Milo, whatever his name is, the actor
Adrian
Milo.
Pastar is his name.
Yeah, he plays the older brother to one of the main characters in Heroes,
Huh.
the original run of Heroes, and that's how I know him, and he's great in that show.
Yeah.
So to watch this movie again and connect the dots, it's the same guy. I'm like, man, like this must be one of your early works because you
Yeah,
are missing.
he's not that
You're
good in
missing a
this
lot of
movie.
marks. Yeah, you're missing a lot of marks.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some points where like I feel like he hits it, but I mean, I feel like a lot of it is like, especially the stuff where he's like, yeah, like going through the field or when he was like walking around the city, and it's just like terrible overacting of him like basically trying to pretend like he's like hobbling around, like it just looks so weird.
Well, that to me, to me is the telltale sign of a. I don't know for sure. I
Mm.
haven't looked it up. To me, that those scenes are the telltale sign of a lower budget movie,
Mm.
which is how do we fill out the 90-minute runtime? We just have
Just have him
shots of
walk
the
around.
person you walk around, pick up a phone, dial it, no one answers, walk past the fucking firefighter
Yeah.
station, that kind of stuff. But in terms of the actual story of the movie, I it's so weird, but I dig it because it's also kind of believable.
Mm.
Like not in the sense of like vampires are real, but in the sense of like there's an outsider who is now part of your family,
Mm-hmm.
and you're giving them a test, but the person doesn't want to be there, but they also do want to be there, and they're like, it's
They
this
don't want to
weird
be
like
there for the family specifically. They want to be there for, for him. He wants
for the
to be there
girl.
for the girl. And so, yeah, he's like, they're trying to test
But
him and he's like, not,
even
he's not
then,
feeling it.
he's also like they do show him have glimpses of like wanting to be part of
Yeah.
like he jumps out the at the end of the movie when he gets or no towards the end where he gets the
Yeah.
van and his dad shows up. Like, he wants to be there. He's happy. He's like they're laughing. He gets the
Yeah.
spur from Bill Paxton. And
Mm-hmm.
he's like this is like he's a moment. You know what I mean? It's just ruined by what happens with the
It's
fucking
ruined because his
sister.
fucking family shows up.
Yeah, but I like the story up until the how do we what's the right film term
Climax?
the Deus Ex Machina,
Oh, the
whatever
Deus
they
Ex Machina?
whatever the proper film analogy term is for how they become not vampires again.
Oh, yeah, that's, I didn't like that at all. Where he's like,
Yeah,
he basically, they don't even really explain it. He just makes an offhand comment because his dad is a veterinarian in the movie. So he makes an offhand comment about like a blood transfusion, and I'm like, how the fuck is that gonna make you human? Like, just,
I guess you cycle out all the vampire blood into human blood.
I
I
mean, I
don't know.
guess that's the reasoning for it, but you
I mean,
would need
I
a
would
lot of
think
blood to cycle out vampire blood.
I think it would just make you more vampire because you're just putting in what you want to eat
That's what I'm
into your
saying as
body.
well. Yeah, like you're a vampire and you drink blood. Like I don't know how giving you more blood like
Makes you
makes you
human.
human.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you have to have a happy ending, man. It's a romance.
Yeah. I don't know. I did not like
Uh,
that ending.
Neither did I. But what stood out to you? Anything in particular stood out
Dude,
to you? Did you like
the
the?
bar scene is so fucking good. It's
Yeah,
probably my favorite moment in the movie. I love it so much.
yeah, hands down, best scene in the movie
Yeah.
for sure. But even with that being said, I remembered it being better
Mm.
than it was, and I thought that this movie when I'm remembering it,
Mm-hmm.
I thought that it was like super gory,
Mm. Yeah, no, it's
and
not super
it's
gory.
not at all.
I mean, probably the goriest thing that happens is probably when he gets shot in the stomach.
That's for sure the most gore. Or even with Bill Paxton on the truck.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, he looks pretty gnarly once he gets hit by the semi. But
Yeah, but other than that, like I thought that was gonna be like real like gory gore vampire kills, and it never got to that level.
no, not really.
And not that I need that,
Hmm.
but I kind of wanted
Well,
it.
I feel like with this one, it would have justified it because especially with just like how brutal they act as
Yeah,
vampire. I mean, they like go to a bar and basically they show up to this bar so they can kill everybody in the bar. Like, it's a
yeah,
pretty brutal concept for like a group of characters that you're following, and the fact that
yeah.
like I don't know, it would justify the brutality with just like how these characters act as a
Hmm.
gang. Like, it would make
Well, it's like
sense.
especially since they burn down everything they do anyway, so you
Yeah.
might as well just. But it also in that bar scene when they kill the bartender,
Hmm.
not the bartender, the barmaid,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and
When they like
they
slit her
put the
throat. Yeah.
mug, but they don't, the mug's empty, and
Yeah.
they don't even drink from it. So it's kind of like, what's the point?
Yeah, it's like barely has anything in it when they like lift it back up onto the
It
table.
puts it on the table, like just he doesn't even drink. What they should do is like cut
Yeah,
her
I don't know
throat,
what the
fill
point
it
of that
up,
was.
yeah, and then like slam it, like
Like the
fucking
mug
chug
made
it.
sense when they did. Oh yeah, he's gonna slit her throat and like fill the
Yeah,
mug with the blood, and then they put it back up, and I was like, there's barely anything in there.
nothing there,
Just leave it
nothing
down there for a
there.
little bit longer. She'll bleed more. Humans got plenty of
Yeah,
blood.
and then like when Bill Paxton kills the one guy, like
Yeah,
this the most. It's a cool scene, but it's also kind of like, oh my god, you could do something cooler with this.
yeah,
You could do something cooler with this. Go watch another movie and then come back and refilm that scene.
yeah,
But Bill Paxton was the best part of the movie.
yeah. I think Bill Paxton's definitely like the highlight of the movie. Lance Henriksen's a close second. I like him a lot as well. Um, but Bill Paxton definitely like, yeah, he owns every moment that he's on screen.
Well, that's why if you look at most of the covers for the
It's
movie,
always Bill Paxton. Yeah.
it's Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is
We look at
like
the
one of the
art.
most compelling vampires in the group. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah,
Because like even the main character's like plight
hmm,
makes no sense to me. I get it, but also it's just I don't know if because it's overdone in the sense of that this movie's from '87, so maybe it wasn't overdone by then.
yeah,
But I've seen that story done so many times of the vampire not wanting to become a vampire, so they don't want
yeah,
to do that. But then he has no problem or willingness to suck blood from the girl he loves.
yeah. That was a weird part too, where she basically like says at one point that like if you keep doing this and you drink too much, like you're gonna kill
Which
me. And he
I've
has no
also
qualms
seen that
about that.
before. Yeah, I've also seen that before, but I can't remember where I've seen that before. But I have seen that
I can't
trope
remember
before.
it either. It's also weird because I feel like normally they steer away from that with basically saying that like vampire blood is like from what I remember from a lot of the stories that I've read is like normally they steer away from that by just saying that like vampire blood
It's
is
poison.
poison to other vampires.
Yeah.
So you're forced to do that because otherwise, why wouldn't vampires just drink from each other? Like that would make a lot more sense. It would leave less of a trail.
Is that some underworld stuff too?
I don't
Is that how
know.
underworld does it?
It might be.
I can't remember. I remember. I don't know.
It feels like maybe some underworld stuff, or honestly feels like some like interview with the vampire shit or something like that. I don't know.
Well, this movie to me, again, I really enjoy the movie for what it is, which I appreciate the fact that it's
Hmm.
this mid-tier VHS cult classic movie, and I absolutely appreciate that. But the movie really gives me like Repo Man vibes.
Yeah.
Not obviously the budget's way different,
Yeah.
but in the point of like it's this like travel movie, even though the Near Dark isn't like traveling or it's kind of bouncing around places, but they're constantly moving and
Hmm.
really kind of cutting between little vignettes until it gets to a main story,
Yeah.
which is almost what Repo Man is. It's a bunch of different days of his life until it gets to the last little bit
Yeah.
of no whatever. And it kind of gave me that same vibe, like this B movie genre flick that probably could use another $5 million to do something.
Yeah. I think,
You know,
or just somebody with effects knowledge. It's like if you had Tom Savini on this, like doing some of the kills,
yeah,
like probably would have been a lot better.
yeah, oh yeah. Or just I don't know if this movie's rated R or not. I assume it is.
I feel like it probably is.
And you should have pushed that hard.
Yeah, you should definitely push that harder. Yeah.
You should have pushed that hard because if Blade could do some shit like 5 years later,
Yeah.
not that Blade's gory, but Blade's doing a little bit more.
Yeah.
Blade got skeletons.
Blade's got lots of skeletons.
Blade's got honestly,
Blade's
I
got
kind of
blood exploding people. So.
But I kind of do wish that Blade had the way these vampires died by sunlight in Blade.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I just wish it was like a set, like we talked about. I wish the rules were more set up.
Yeah.
Because it's very nebulous and it's hard to like understand. Like there's the scene at the end with the fucking kid chasing the daughter, and I didn't know how to feel because I was like, well, how long can he actually be out in sunlight? Because from what I've seen at this point, like people have been running out like all over the fucking place at this point. Like they get burned, sure, but like they can still like run out and do shit. So like,
yeah,
I don't know how long he can keep running. And then he like just stops for some unknown reason. Like he still could have kept going. He just decides to stop. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And then explodes.
Yeah. Well, it was like, and that was there was that other moment too, where it was like, when the main character, like he saves his sister when she gets kidnapped for the first time, like out of the house. And he's like running with her and like he trips and he's like, go ahead, go on without me. And then he like does nothing to like stop the people who are chasing her or like try to catch up with her. He just watches her get kidnapped. And he's like, no. And I was like, what the fuck did you think was going to happen?
Can you give me your interpretation of the ending in terms of why Jesse and his girlfriend and his girlfriend just sat in the car and died? I didn't understand what the scene was trying to convey.
I feel like my reading of it is that they were basically seeing that like their whole, I mean at this point like their whole family at this point is like basically gone except for those two. And I feel like they probably thought that they weren't going to let anybody get away with knowing who or what they are. So at this point, I think that they were just going to try to kill them if they could by running them over. So at least they wouldn't have anybody left who like knew, that they're vampires or whatnot. But they just spent too long in the sun.
Yeah, because that their death scene is just so like.
But it's very weird.
Unspecific of what happened, like
because I definitely feel like they could have hitting just, like, driven away.
I guess
the
sun's hitting your hand.
Weird attachment to the kid, but like I know the one chick did. Like she was like basically treated him like she was his mom. Yeah. So even though I think he'd been a vampire like longer than her.
Yeah.
I feel like.
But it's like the sun was hitting his hand and that like made you explode.
Yeah, I didn't get that part. I mean, I don't know. They had the whole thing where it was like, it felt like even if it was like tangentially touching you, like it was still like fucking you up. So.
Yeah, I guess, but just
because I mean they had the point where it was like even wearing clothes, like it didn't help, like their clothes were like exploding of sunlight,
catching on fire,
touch their clothes. But then that also didn't make any sense because then you could just put a blanket on and like the blanket's fine. And I'm like
until the blanket catches on fire.
Until it catches on fire, but it's fine for some reason at first. So
it just really like, they don't really kind of do well establishing that.
Yeah, I think
that stuff.
Yeah, it's
which is fine because like
is
they don't try to establish rules and that means it's okay.
No, yeah, and it's not super. It's not like there's a super big plot point that is like focused on like having these rules established to, tell whatever the story they're trying to tell. Like they're trying to do something different and like for them the rules of like how the vampires work is like not that important. So
it's that they are vampires, but it's all a gateway to tell this emotional story.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's like, like Fright Night. You kind of the whole point is that there's a character to help establish the rules of vampires, and that's kind of like the funniness of at least of the remake. Obviously, the original's a little different, but even then, that's the whole point. There's rules set, and then they have to learn that some of the rules don't make sense or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, so and with Near Dark, it's kind of like, okay, we're just gonna they're vampires.
Yeah.
And we're gonna pick a couple of the classic tropes,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're gonna just go with that. And then gunshots don't kill them, but they hurt. But then they don't hurt at some point.
Yeah.
Like it's like
Well, I
they
feel
can
like
get
it's like,
shot, but
I feel like it's similar to like the fact that they like get burned, but as soon as they're out, like they heal pretty. I think they just have super fast healing
yeah, there's
because they get
Wolverines.
burned and like they get those like super massive like I don't know if they're even like third degree, but they're like fourth degree burns at that point. Like their skin's fucking charring off, and then they just
Yeah,
they're out of the sun for like 30 minutes, and then they're all good to go again. So
yeah, exactly. But I mean, overall, for like I said, like a movie that I would rent at Blockbuster if
hmm
I saw it, that like perfectly in the like that equilibrium,
yeah,
like and a movie in that caliber. It's like I'm gonna start giving other examples. Fucking Equilibrium, fucking Owen Wilson's what's it called? Behind Enemy Lines.
is it just called Behind Enemy Lines?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's what it's called. Yeah, that movie
That's the
to
one
me,
where he's
that
the
movie.
fighter pilot, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that movie might have been a massive budget. I don't know,
I
but
feel
if you
like
watch
Behind
that
Enemy
movie,
Lines was, yeah.
but if you watch that movie, dude, that movie's fucking
Oh, it's B movie as fuck.
blockbuster.
Yeah.
That shit's fucking middle of the road quality movie.
Yeah.
So shit like that, and then like this is like a canon film. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it feels like that for sure. Like it feels like like that level of
It's one of those studios.
of
Um,
budget filmmaking, like yeah.
I don't know. I'll just find out real quick who I can't remember
Who
who the
distributed
studio
it?
was who
Yeah.
made this
I
movie.
don't know. I can't
Let's
remember
pull it up.
on the from what was shown on
Yeah,
this.
the budget was
Yeah,
$5 million.
that makes sense.
So there you go. Catherine Bigelow in her solo directorial debut.
Yeah.
Da, da, da. Apparently, I did see on Wikipedia that it was going to get remade in 2006.
Mm.
But then a producer said, no, we had to cancel it because there's a movie coming out that was too similar about vampires falling in love
Was it
with
Twilight?
humans. And it was
Yeah.
Twilight, yeah.
I think I saw that at some point. I was like looking up. I saw some description for it, and it was like the Twilight movie before Twilight or something like that. And it's like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like kind of similar to Twilight.
Kinda, yeah.
Yes.
I do want to say, though, that the music by Tangerine Dream is awesome.
I mean, the score is killer. Yeah.
Because I love Tangerine Dream. I think the music that
So what else
goes.
have they done? Because I saw that pop up, and I was like, I recognize that name.
So my personal favorite movie that the collect because I think it's a band,
Uh huh.
a collective. My personal favorite thing is the soundtrack to the movie Thief,
Okay.
which is a Michael Mann movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I've mentioned Michael Mann 1,000 times. He's like the king of the '80s crime atmosphere.
Heat, baby. I love
And
Heat.
so it's Thief's about a thief, like a jewelry thief. It's fucking James Caan.
Okay.
And it's a great movie. It's
Interesting.
a great '80s movie. Michael Mann, and then the soundtrack is pristine. It is so good. That's my favorite Tangerine Dream. There's the other movies. I think he did like Sorcerer or fucking some Firestarter and stuff like that. But it's always that like synthy, that like '80s synthy kind of sound. And in Thief, it's like perfect for what the movie is. And this movie is also really, really good for the soundtrack. So
Okay.
that's probably my favorite thing about the movie.
Yeah.
But also, again, I think that this movie makes me want to just go read American Vampire.
Yeah. I think it makes me want to read American Vampire too. It definitely.
Honestly, let me ask you this: since you have read this comic book,
It's been a while since I've read it, but
do we not think that fucking what's his name from Preacher is not based on fucking Bill Paxton's character in Near Dark?
Custard?
Just that he's no the vampire
No,
guy.
I can't remember what the vampire's name is.
Is it like
It's
Kennedy or
like
something,
no,
or
it's like
Leonard?
fuck. What the fuck was his name? Uh, not Custer.
Columbus, Columbo,
Cassidy.
Cassidy.
Yeah,
I mean,
Cassidy is basically Bill Paxton from.
he's British though, right?
He's Irish.
But the point being, like, the kind of like he looks kind of like Bill Paxton's character,
Yeah,
kind
no,
of.
he does. He looks like Bill Paxton's character. Yeah.
And like, obviously, I haven't read Preacher beyond a couple issues, but like, I kept thinking like this dude looks like, because even Bill Paxton's character, if he wasn't like a Western biker kind of guy,
I
he's wearing the
mean,
punk rock jacket. You can be like, this dude's just from England.
just look at. This picture is like Bill Paxton, but a comic book. Hold on.
Watch like we just Google it, and like it's been like very obviously known for like this is like not even a secret. Like Garth Ennis is like, yeah, I did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I watched Near Dark like 2 days before I started writing it, and I
Is
was like, yeah, it's perfect.
Cassidy based on Near Dark? That didn't do anything. Okay. I got
That
zero
did nothing.
responses. I got nothing even close. Okay, cool. That's why I kept thinking when I was watching the movie, like, this guy reminds me of the dude from Preacher.
Yeah.
With no context for anything about the character except that he's a vampire.
I wouldn't be surprised if like that turned out to be true.
Well, Zach, I do want to say, is there anything else you want to add about Near Dark?
No, I think I still enjoyed watching it, and I was glad that I was able to finally like sit down and give it a shot because yeah, I had never seen it. I'd heard good things about it. I'd always heard that like the vampires in it are great. Um, and I would agree with that. Like the vampires are enjoyable, and they make the movie, so which they should
I,
because it's a vampire movie. So
and they're like, it's fun to see a movie. Not that they don't make these movies anymore, but it's that I don't really seek them out as often as I used to. But it's cool to see actual like vampires doing vampire things.
yeah,
And that's really cool to kind of watch for the first time in a while. Because the vampires I'm used to, like Blade vampires, don't really do vampire things. Like they have businesses and
yeah.
401ks and stuff.
Interview with the Vampires, like they're all like dandy fops. So
Yeah, so this was cool to see. Like, okay, these are brutal vampires, even if it's not as gory as I wanted it to be.
yeah,
It's insinuated that they're brutal people.
yeah.
So
I guess the gorier version of this would be 30 Days of Night, but
I've never seen it.
it's
I know what it is. It was a comic book. I've just
yeah,
never watched it.
the movie's good too. But it's like, yeah, it's basically like vampires like Near Dark, but like it's
Yeah.
gory. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I dig it.
Do they survive at the end of that movie?
The vampires?
No, the humans.
I can't remember. In the comic, they don't. Like the one guy survives, but he basically is like ends up becoming a vampire and surviving like that.
No, that's perfectly fine. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's fine.
yeah, I like the ending for that. I read the comic. I can't remember how the movie. I think like a couple of them survive in the movie or some shit like that.
Of
Which
course.
they fucking shouldn't, because like it's 30 Days a Night, dude.
Yeah.
That's vampire time. 30 Days of Vampires.
Yeah. There's actually before we wrap up, I know there was this past year that Snyder did a spin-off to American Vampire that I was reading. I
Oh.
just never finished it. It's like American Vampire, like 1975 or something like that. I just never finished it because I stopped going to the comic book shop. But it makes me want to just go back and reread the original series.
1976.
There you go. But it makes me want to go back and reread the original series.
Yeah, I would go back and read it again. It's been a while since I've read it.
Yeah, I have been so far removed from the world. It's been so long now.
Yeah, I think it's been like 5 or 6 years since I read it. So I would be down to watch it, especially if there's a spinoff. I'd be down to read the spinoff too.
Yeah, I think it's only like 5 issues too. So
It looks like it's
a real.
based around motorcycles. I'm like, hell yeah, I dig it.
I think he's a stuntman. I think
Hell yeah,
I can't remember exactly. It's been so. I only read the first issue.
I dig it.
But hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to the first episode of Halloween specials this year
Halloween.
for Near Dark.
What is our second episode gonna be? I can't like I know what our last
Oh,
episode,
I don't know.
but I can't remember what our second one was gonna be. I can't remember if we discussed it or not.
I don't think we did,
Hmm.
but let's wrap up the pod, and
Yeah.
then once the pod's over, we'll we'll decide.
Okay.
So hey guys, see you back next week with whatever we decide in about 5 seconds.
See you guys.